Hi everyone, it's Isabella here and welcome back to the channel. So today's video, buckle up, okay? I fell down a rabbit hole. Now this rabbit hole is gonna blow your mind as some of you have been dying, and I mean dying for me to talk about Temu. I've been digging into Temu a lot. I've been researching, I have so many video topics I wanna cover because there's frankly too much for me to cover at one time. So I wanna say that this is the start to my mini series of covering Temu essentially. So I'm hoping to see if I can get like 2 videos up this month about Temu and other crazy things to kind of introduce the topics of Temu, and I'm hoping to get 2 more at least up next month. So like there's a lot going on right now. However, falling down this rabbit hole of Temu and this very popular brand that we've seen all over TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and so much more, there's been some absolutely wicked things going on with Temu. So I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna make this fun and we're gonna dive into, to kick this off, Shein versus Temu, because oh my God, Shein and Temu have been duking it out, fighting each other, like whooping each other's ass with lawsuits. And I was like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna cover that first. Now, Temu is a whole can of worms when it comes to the brand as a whole and lawsuits they're involved in, along with many other alleged issues like, you know, child labor and abuse and all that. But we're gonna start off strong with Shein versus Temu, 2 very popular fast fashion companies that are based in China, and we're gonna talk about this insane problems with these companies. So before we hop into today's video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell button down below. My merch, vlog channel, and podcast, and so much more is in the description below. And y'all, let's get into this shit. Hi everyone, hopping in here because I want to talk to you guys about something so ridiculously fun. If you guys don't know, I've been updating you all a ton about my Wi-Fi issues, right? So I have been having to go to different places to upload my videos. Like today, for example, I had to go and sit at the university to upload a video. And if you don't know, it takes a while to upload a video. And during that time, usually there's nothing that I can do. And sure, I can scroll on social media for the next 40 minutes as it gets done uploading, but honestly, that's not as fun. So I actually came across this app called Temu, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this has helped me immensely, and it's just ridiculously fun. So if you guys don't know, Temu is a free-to-play mobile game available on all devices, where you have to solve puzzles by blasting cubes and creating powerful combos to pass every level. There's over 7,000 fun levels. I have only gone through, I think, a little over 30, but I'm telling you right now, it is ridiculously addicting. And also, if you're a very competitive person like myself, you can join teams and earn even more rewards simply by working together. There's also fun challenging mini games to get additional rewards, and you guys can play with players all around the world in challenging events to get even more rewards. And you know how I was telling you guys about how I've been having some major Wi-Fi issues at my house? Well, this is an app where you don't even need Wi-Fi to play it, which is ridiculously convenient for me. Whether I need to pass the time while I'm uploading a video or I simply just want fun puzzles to solve, Temu has got you covered. And right now you guys can go and download Temu for free by clicking the link in the description below, pin comment, or scanning the QR code on the screen. And if you guys go and download the app today, you guys get 3 hours of unlimited live. So if you do mess up a little bit, you're good to go. You don't have to wait, and 100 coins for free. Thank you so much to Temu for sponsoring today's video. And now let's get into it. All right, so starting off strong, very quickly, for those of you who don't know, we're gonna talk about Shein and Temu and the entire differences. So Shein is a fast fashion company that has been all over the internet for years. They've been around for a while, and they've essentially dominated the fast fashion industry. I've actually talked about them before and the problems with Shein. I haven't done a deep dive yet, but we did talk about them in this video over here, where we just go on to discuss how, like, unethical company, they've had some serious allegations against them as well. They also allegedly have problems with child labor and so much more. We talked about the influencer brand trip that they hosted and how awful that was. And they essentially focus a lot on fashion. Now, if you go on Shein, you can see thousands, and I mean thousands, of new styles and designs released every single day. So essentially their carbon footprint and the amount of waste and things that they produce from what we can see is astronomical and insane compared to many other companies we shop from today. So they're a monster in itself, right? And they are dominating the industry. So Temu actually is stepping in, and they actually are kind of almost like a more trending AliExpress. They're kind of a one-stop shop for everything, and they're essentially trying to compete against Shein. Shein is more of the fashion focus, but you can see more styles and home goods and things like that there too. But Temu is kind of focusing on literally everything. Not exactly as focused on fashion, but they're trying to make everything as wildly affordable and good for you as possible. And again, again, they're trying to compete with the monster Shein. So that's kind of the difference between them. Both platforms, you can essentially find very, very affordable products, like a couple dollar t-shirts. You can find very cheap shoes. You can even find you can find hair extensions on there. Like, that's insane, right? You can find so many different things that are ranging from affordability and just so much more. They're trying to essentially become dominating the world of fast fashion and just fast producing products in general. Now, here's the thing. Both companies, I think we can mutually understand and agree on, that is a problem in itself, wanting to dominate that industry. But it sounds like they're kind of stupid, okay? Like, they're kind of really peace and love, fiercely fucking dumb, because it looks like they're airing their asses out because they're that petty and they're trying to outgrow boss each other and fuck with each other in the long run, but giving us a lot of information about each of them. So, I mean, literally, it's like you can't really stop watching. It's, again, like you watch two people fighting and they keep like yelling about like, you fuck my man, why fuck your dad? And like, you know what I mean? Like, they just keep screaming at each other and then you end up being like, like you keep finding out more shit, right? So the girls are fighting. We're gonna talk about it. So let's take it back a little bit, and we're getting close to almost a year since then. So back in December 12th of 2022 was when Shein actually officially filed a lawsuit against Temu over, quote, intellectual property infringement. So specifically, Shein was accusing Temu of misleading consumers into thinking that they were the same exact brand. This is so bad. Allegedly selling products copyrighted by Shein, displaying the words Shein in search ads that led to Temu's website. It also claimed that Temu is being behind 3 imposter Twitter. This is so fucking evil. I'm sorry, I gotta giggle at these two horrible companies with each other. It also claimed that Temu is behind 3 imposter Twitter accounts named Shein_USA and asking fans to support the new Twitter of Shein while posting links to Temu app websites. The two companies are still fighting over this in court. So you mean to tell me Temu said, and made Twitter, who thought of that? Twitter accounts and posted links and was like, we're gonna take you to Temu. So this is actually the case of RoadGet Business Pte. Ltd. versus Whaleco Inc. So one thing I want to actually put out there that I had no idea that I think is important to share. When you're looking into a company, a couple things I want to say. Find parent companies and look at connections. That's what I do. So when I was digging into Temu, I was like, who owns this company, right? Who's running it? It's not just Temu LLC, right? Okay, it's like who runs this shit? So apparently Whaleco Inc. is who's running some of this stuff. Whaleco Inc. is who's apparently kind of connected and running with it. So let's talk about an entire breakdown of this lawsuit. Like, it's bad. These are all the claims and what they're saying in this lawsuit alone. Similarity of the marks. The allegedly infringing Shein mark as used by Temu on its platforms and Google advertisements, and the authentic Shein mark are very similar enough that a customer could believe that the infringing mark is associated with the authentic mark. As a result of the factor weighs in favor of Shein, which, ouch. So Temu really, I'm gonna be honest, full transparency, for the longest time before looking at this, I genuinely was like, Shein must have created this company and is just having an extra company. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was thinking, okay, making fake beef, you know, making fake problems, having an extra company, you know what I mean? Going head to head like that, maybe they would do it and it would create more sales no matter what. However, now I'm like, okay, clearly they're not owned by the same people. They're just being assholes to each other. So this next one says similarity of products, which I don't know how you can say exactly similarity of products. Like, so many of these products are the same. They are cheap things created and sold at a very, very significantly low price, okay? I really don't know how you can get different than that. It says, because Shein and Temu are competitors and the identical infringing Shein marks appear on Temu platforms, the factor weighs in favor of Shein. So apparently, allegedly, what they were trying to do, and Shein marks or like logos and things like that were apparently getting put on like ads and clothing to give the idea that you were purchasing from Shein. Like, I'm not even kidding. There's actually, oh God, what is it? There's several other fast fashion companies. I can't remember the names. Maybe I'll remember them later and pop them up here. But there's a couple that I've noticed that looked nearly identical to Shein. And so I honestly was like, okay, they have to be the same. Like, I thought they were the same. Instead, I think they're just direct competitors. But because they know the search engine for Shein is insane. I mean, if you look at TikTok right now, look at the search for Shein. Wicked, okay? People are wanting this and looking for this. The hauls on YouTube, you name it. People want this kind of stuff. It's insane to think about how they're using that to their advantage and also thought they would get away with it. It's like, these people are not very bright. The area and manner of concurrent use of the products. Temu and Shein are online platforms targeting the US fashion and lifestyle market. Both platforms sell inexpensive clothing and home goods. Thus, this factor also favors Shein. Next one, degree of care likely to be exercised by consumers. Because of both Shein and Temu offering inexpensive clothing and products, customers are more likely to exercise less care and discrimination in their purchases. Therefore, the likelihood of confusion is greater. The factor also weighs in favor of Shein. Strength of the plaintiff's marks. It says Temu does not challenge the strength of the Shein mark, no matter as the factor favors Shein in light of things like its social media following, 26 million plus followers on Instagram, 5.5 million on TikTok, and over 500,000 on Twitter. And app-specific stats, Shein was the most downloaded shopping mobile app in the US in 2021, and the most downloaded mobile application across any category in 2022. Then it goes on to say the evidence of actual confusion. So pretty much saying like, evidence of literal confusion and them trying to mess with Shein. Shein concedes that there's no actual evidence of confusion, but insists that because discovery is ongoing, like looking into the shit is ongoing, this could change and the balance of factors still weighs in its favor. The court stated that this factor favors Temu. Now next it says intent to palm off its goods as those of the plaintiffs. The court spent most of its time here stating that Shein argues that infringing Shein marks appear on counterfeit Shein products, particularly on images of a shirt with an infringing Shein mark on the tag, but is delivered to the customers without said infringing Shein mark. And there it is. Oh my God, bingo, Romway. I forgot about that brand, Romway. Infringing Shein mark and a Romway jacket with an infringing Shein mark listed in the description as Romway product. Temu unsuccessfully counters that the first sale doctrine shields it from liability here. Contrary to Temu's assertion, the first sale doctrine is not a defense to the presence of infringing Shein's marks on Temu's platforms. The major caveat to its protection is that, quote, the resold goods must be authentic, trademark goods, which does not appear to be the case here. Beyond those products, Shein argued that Shein storefront on Temu platforms, quote, deliberately capitalizes off of a common mispronunciation of Shein, which I used to pronounce it like that too, so I get it, by US customers and uses a font styled like Shein mark to attract Shein customers. The Shein storefront also contains identical images found on the Shein website per Shein. The court noted that the Temu was denied any involvement in the naming of this seller, which the storefront sells or what listing to include. So literally, Temu essentially is just like, we didn't make any counterfeit, nothing, and we have no clue why that's that. Like, girl boss, if you're gonna do it, do it. Also, you've gotta be bold to blatantly copy Shein. You just have to, you also can't be that smart. How do you expect this to go well for you? You see how fucking stupid these people are? You see why you should stop for them. So now let's get into the second lawsuit, because this one, oh my God, literally this is so funny, okay? The second lawsuit, so Temu decided to say and get back at them, which this is kind of funny, and accused Shein of violating US antitrust laws by forbidding suppliers from working with the newer platform. According to the court filing, Temu says that Shein has asked all of its more than 8,000 manufacturers to sign exclusivity agreements and, quote, loyal oaths that specifically prevent them from selling to Temu, which is so funny because if you guys don't remember, I actually covered Fashion Nova not too long ago, and I'll have that pop over here as well, where allegedly there was a lawsuit going on that Fashion Nova did the same thing, where they pretty much got a hold of their suppliers. They're like, look, this company is trying to compete against us. We need this to be just you and I, and you need to blacklist them. Now, it's very hard to prove that, I would like to say. And so it is very hard to prove that as well. If logically speaking, okay, if a company is so powerful, billions of dollars, okay, they're loaded, they have the capacity to do whatever they want. So if they want to, and they're making these suppliers a shit ton of money, I get why they'd be like, okay, and not work with any competitors. And it's a straight up monopoly if that's the case. This is not okay. But continuing on, it says it claims that Shein uses false copyright infringement claims to try to get Temu to take down certain products that Temu sells at cheaper prices than Shein does. So it sounds like Shein's trying to be like, okay, bet bitch, and goes out and tries to flag their products and say, you're selling stuff the same as us. And Temu's like, I think actually you're pissy that we're selling it cheaper. Do you see how messy this is? For a long time, we've exercised significant restraint and refrained from pursuing legal actions. However, Shein's escalating attacks leave us no choice but to take legal measures to defend our rights and the rights of those merchants doing business on Temu. I love how y'all want to ride or die to make money, but you won't give a shit about the people working for you, that are hardly getting paid, allegedly. Meanwhile, a Shein spokesperson told MIT Technology Review, we believe this lawsuit is without merit and we will vigorously defend ourselves. So final thoughts on this, okay? We've got Shein and Temu going back and forth. The girls are going at it. What do I think about this? I think this is a great start to kind of, one, I think a good start to a Shein deep dive, but also Temu as well. I think this goes to show the amount of effort they'll go to mess with competition. And this is something I'm gonna add. The amount of money that they will drop to go after competition instead of making sure people are taken care of fucking appalls me. They have the capacity to take care of people and make sure there is no child labor, as we have allegedly heard on both platforms, okay? If you're not willing to take care of that, you're a disgusting person. And I will say that till the day I die. That's not normal. And there's so many other issues and allegations as well. Additionally, I wanna say, just to get this out of the way, with Temu and everything, they can't possibly physically be selling products at an affordable rate like that and making sure everyone's like very nicely compensated. You know, like literally the hours and hours of effort to make an item versus how much someone is getting paid and then how much they're selling it, like that's disgusting to me. There's a couple of allegations I did hear through the grapevine as well, how allegedly Temu is actually kind of losing some money in an aspect because they're trying to compete with Shein by selling things cheaper so that way they can get in front of the US consumers a little bit more. Because if that's the case, then from what I'm thinking on their perspective is if they can get in front of US consumers and replace Shein, then they can uptick some of the pricing and just be a go-to for everyone under the sun. But either way, I think this is really problematic and ridiculous to me. And again, like the more that they go back and forth like this, I honestly think the more that they're just gonna air out how horrible they are. And I know some of them might like make up lies or go back and forth, but from what I can see, both of them are not ethical companies. They have wildly cheap things. They allegedly, and we'll get into this in another video, have horrific working conditions. They've both had major other lawsuits and issues going on as well, from violating laws, not giving a shit about protections of people who are working for them and so much more, allegedly from what I'm hearing. And it's an insane ride. And I think also, yeah, this is just a start to the journey of them airing themselves out further because they're that petty and ridiculous. And I think that's what they're kind of forgetting is people like me talk about these things, like discuss these problems. So people are gonna start looking at it and finding out. This isn't just a hidden thing. And I think the more that they try and mess with each other, the more content that people have to dig into how problematic these companies are and expose what's really going on with Shein and Temu. Overall, I think they're petty. I think they're ridiculous. And I'm not surprised to say the least. So that was it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, this is a really interesting video. That's for sure. And also don't forget to check out today's sponsor in the description below and pin comments. And I will see all of my angels in the next video.